fuck.
Hello and welcome back to 4FS Gaming. First off, I want to extend a massive welcome to all of those PS4 players who are finally able to join us with the release of Hunt Showdown. Welcome to the swamps, and over the past 2 years we have produced quite the library of guides for this game, so please go and check them out if you're struggling. As for this video, we are going to discuss the element of surprise. Some hunters swear by it, placing stealth as one of the most important elements of a playstyle. Others want to run around like Rambo and don't care very much for surprise, preferring speed and aggression to keep them alive. In the background you will see clips of people getting surprised, and there are some doozies in there, let me tell you. So let's talk about, first, the advantages of surprise. When you can see your enemies and they don't know you're there at all, you have two significant advantages at your disposal. Firstly, and this is the one that most people waste, unless you are sighted early, you are able to choose the location and time at which you will engage the enemy from. This is significant because you can attack from a place with lots of cover when the enemy is in the open, or you can engage when an enemy is particularly vulnerable, like if they have taken damage from a monster or they're standing still to pick up a clue. The second big advantage is that you will get to take the first shot. This is really important because if you land a headshot, then it makes the ensuing fight a lot easier, because one enemy gun is already down for the count. There is really no doubt about it. As we can see from the background footage, it is good to have the element of surprise. But in many cases, getting shot at first isn't the end of the day. Despite hundreds of hours of learning audio cues and scanning the screen for signs of enemies, I of course get surprised as well, and sometimes this works out just fine for me anyway.
Fuck, I don't know how that got me.
I know where he would have had to throw it from. Just don't know how to get there safely. How long have we got?
Oh, I'm down to 50 HP now.
Fuck!
The real trick is to keep moving. The best way to survive a surprise attack is to always expect a surprise attack. If you always assume that an enemy hunter has been stalking you and even has eyes on you, then you will not do silly things like stand still or crouch walk across a field. You will be efficient in killing AI without taking damage and heal as soon as possible. Always hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. Some people have criticized a number of my guides in the past as I tell people to favor speed over stealth, and giving away your position isn't that much of a big deal. Now I'm going to stand by this, but I want to make it clear that I don't mean to tell people just to run around guns blazing all the time, but rather remember that in order to gain the element of surprise, you probably need speed anyway. Think about it like this. If I want to set up a trap and surprise some enemies, I have to be in front of them or closer to the objective so they pass through my area. I can only do this by going fast at the start of the match, locating the boss, and then calculating where I should set up based on noises that I've heard throughout the match. In fact, I made a whole video of predicting player movement across the map. It's old but still highly relevant, so you should probably go check that one out. Now by the same token, if I hear nearby gunshots and I need to pursue or cut off the enemy, then I also need to move fast. The longer that I take to get to where those shots came from, the older that information is. And if I take too long, it's completely useless because they would have moved on and I still have no idea where they are. This works in reverse as well. If I set off birds, shoot some zombies, and then move very far away from that location, it's going to be extremely difficult for an enemy to find me unless they were very close by already. Now, of course I could run straight to the next available clue in the compound over, but that would be silly because it's the predictable route where people are likely to set up an ambush. So there is a certain art to traversing the map both quickly and quietly, and it's this kind of movement that provides you with the best chance of catching your enemies unawares, both if you're running down a team or getting ahead to set up an ambush. Now you can improve in this regard by learning the aggro radius of AI and sound traps, so you can avoid them at just the right distance without setting them off or losing too much speed. You can also learn the compound layout very thoroughly, so you know the best ways to get in and out quickly, as many of these compounds have some sneaky tricks or fences you can vault over that aren't immediately apparent when you first see them. I always like to carry throwing knives to quickly dispatch water devils and hives in your path without putting yourself in a vulnerable position. I know it's very simple to kill a hive with dusters or a knife, but being poisoned and then shot at is a pretty unfortunate situation to find yourself in. I do have one more thing to say about the element of surprise, which is that I see far too many people waste it. Just because you can make the first shot doesn't mean that it's going to be a good shot. Wait till your target is still or damaged. Wait until your target is in the correct range for your weapon, or even wait for your teammate to get eyes on as well so that you can go for that double shot. And always make sure that if you miss, your position will still give you an advantage in the ensuing shootout. Which reminds me, I made a video all about positioning as well. You can spend a long time tracking a target and making sure they don't see you, so try not to botch it with an arm shot from a Winnie. Hit them and hit them hard. That brings us to the end of this video. If you liked it, please consider subscribing. We also have our Patreon, Discord community, and Twitch channel linked in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. This is Ascendance from 4FS Gaming.